Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Trader Abe coming to you, part four. Today is February February 16th, 2024. And I just want to give you, start our series, start the journey of being an investor and a day trader and get right into it. Learning what the basics are, hopefully helping you save some time during this journey, giving you a head start. Um, there's a learning curve. Definitely, there's going to be a learning curve. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. Like I mentioned in my previous videos, this is not a get rich quick scheme, but it does take a lot of determination, consistency, discipline. You will change, you will grow as a person. You will need to read certain books to mold your psychology, and through experience, your psychology will also be tested, and that's part of being successful, right? And so the first thing I'm going to touch on today is we've already talked about why you should trade and why it's worth investing your time into it and the potential behind it. I went over the three key things. Number one, unlimited potential, the $1 trillion market, the foreign exchange currency market, the commodity markets, the stock market. We're talking trillions. The markets are open 23 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. So potential is unlimited, clearly. Number two, I talked about the quadrant, being an investor versus just being an employee, or versus just being self-employed, or versus just being a business owner. You can make money all in all four quadrants. It's just the way you make money. And the powerful thing is the leverage. So that's the other concept I want to touch on, leverage. So I used to think you had to have a lot of money. You have to have a lot of money to trade. If I had $1,000 in a savings and I invested and I made 1% or I made 10%, we're talking about $10 to $100 profit. That's not life changing. That's not gonna change my life. So then, how is it that traders are so successful? How is it that they can amass a lifestyle that only some people can dream about? So start looking into this, researching it, and a year into my journey, I discovered what prop firms were, are proprietary trading firms or evaluation firms, or there's so many names for them. But the bottom line is there is levels to the industry, okay? I've tested and gone through 4 or 5 different prop firms at this point in my journey. I've been funded 4 times already. So I won't mention names right now, but later on I will share some of those prop firms and which ones I would recommend based on my own personal experience. Now, this is not to be considered financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes or educational purposes. So do not. I'm not your financial advisor, but I'll share with you my personal experience, what I did and what worked for me and what didn't. But just to keep it short, the ability to have leverage is what sets everything apart in this game. So, stock market is where I started in high school trading stocks. But like I mentioned, for stocks you are limited to 3 trades per week due to the PE rule. You have to have a minimum of a $25,000 capital, or an account with $25,000 to be able to day trade and earn and make money for a living. As a professional day trader, you obviously can trade more than 3 trades a week. Sometimes you don't need to do more than 3 trades a week. But for the purpose of your daily average American or daily average trader, aspiring trader, in foreign forex or in commodities or indices, you can start with a very low capital. So that's where the prop firms come into play. So anywhere from $300 to $500, I can have access to a challenge to demonstrate to a firm that I can trade and manage money. And so if I pass this challenge and I gain 8 to 10% profit, then they give me a second challenge where I reach a 5% target. Then they issue me capital. They issue me a six-figure capital. And in some cases, some prop firms can start as low as 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, up to 100,000, 200,000, 600,000, and some prop firms even offer you up to $1 million in capital. So just let's keep it basic. So for the beginner traders that are watching this, if you make 10% of $1,000, that is $100. If you make 10% of $100,000, that's $10,000. So you execute the same trade. In one account, you made $100 because you had $1,000. And then another account, you made $10,000 with the exact same trade because you had more capital, more leverage, right? So that's where the prop firms can be a game changer for someone that has no money, starting from the bottom, just like I did, where you can't even fathom having $100,000 in savings. Like, that's impossible feat for you. This is a quick way, and I say quick because I think it would take you a lot longer to actually save $100,000 liquid cash in your account versus passing a challenge that can take you 1 to 2 months and having access to that capital of 100,000. Now, there is a lot of caveats to that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or make it like a fantasy dream. You are limited to $10,000 in drawdown or negative or losses. Once you go over $10,000 in losses, you will lose that account. Can you get another account? Yes, you can. You can try as many times as you need to. And so you're limited to $5,000 loss in a single day. So that's where your risk management comes into place. So there's leverage and there's risk management. Those are like the two most powerful things that trading and investing have. That can help you be successful and create profits and change your lifestyle and increase your net worth over time. So here we go. I went from trading with my personal money, my personal account. I opened an account, $500. I opened an account with $1,000, and then I opened an account with $2,000. So this is my personal journey. Here we go. My first winning trade, I made $86, and I remember I was at Costco. It was a Friday or Thursday afternoon, and I invested in it was the US dollar against the Swiss franc, and I made $86. No, I take that back. It was gold. It was US gold. So gold was on a bullish run, and it was in 2021. Yeah, it was on a bullish run, and I made $86 profit in a matter of maybe an hour. And so I was excited. I was like, I posted on my Instagram. And I was like, man, my money just made money for me. $86. Like, I didn't have to clock in, I didn't have to clock out. Literally just executed a buy on my phone, and then I closed my trade and sold. And I made $86.92. So that was thanks to one of my first mentors. And so he shared that trade idea with me. I looked at it, I executed it, and then I managed to trade and managed profit. My level of excitement was this high, right? My first profitable trade, I was like, wow, this works. This is real. And so in a matter of a year's journey in trading, you lose and you win. Okay? There's your win rate, there's your loss rate, but more importantly is your risk management, not how much you're risking per trade, and your trading plan, sticking to a trading plan. You're going to hear this a lot in the trading community. Trading plan, risk management. But for me, the journey was that $86 profit. That could have been an $8,600 profit had I had 10 times the account size, right? Or 10 times the leverage. And then obviously from making $86 to making $8,600, the difference in your trade could be maybe an extra zero at the end of your account, or an extra 2 zeros. But the growth and psychology you have to go through to get from making 86 to 8,000, that's where the game's at. That's where the psychology comes into play. I don't know if you've ever traded or gambled, or you've gone to a casino and there's that nervous feeling or anxiety that you have before you find out the outcome of your hand or the outcome of your spin or trade. And that it's called like fear. It's very real. When money's on the line, you're a lot more emotional as a naturally as a human being. But in this case, like, you're going to have to grow calluses to the fear and anxiety and know how to control it and turn it off, your emotions, and be more and execute and be more methodical and be like sticking to your trading plan. So I made $86 in a day, and then within a year's span of time of trading my personal account with a broker, I went and I made a $200 day, and I was very excited. I broke my $86 day, and then I made $1,000 day. I was super excited the day I made $1,000. So much so, the very next day I made a $2,000 day. So this is maybe a year and a half into my journey. So I was like, wow, I can make a. That was like my first $1,000 day, and then I made $2,000 in a day, and so I was very excited. I was like, wow, this is real. Now you'll notice I've been saying dollars: $86, $200, 1,000, and $2,000. I never understood this when I would hear it. It didn't make any sense to me. But you do not want to think in the terms of dollars. You want to think in the terms of percentage gains. Okay. You really want to become a student and master the craft of trading. You want to think percentage. Don't think of the money. And I know that's so cliche to say that and to hear that. I hated hearing that when traders would tell me, don't think of the money, just master the skill, think of the percentage. But honestly, that helps with your psychology. When you start thinking of percentages, it's a lot less painful than the hearing the dollar amount. It's kind of like people that tell you to budget. It's a lot easier to spend with a card because you don't see the cash leaving your hands. Well, it's a similar concept here. Like when you say percentage, your mind has a little bit of a buffer to the pain associated with losing. But you'll develop that with time. But anyways, the point I'm trying to say is that I made this money, but then eventually I lost all that money. I blew those accounts because I didn't have risk management. I didn't know what a stop loss was. I didn't know what a trading plan was. It was more random than intentional, right? It was there's not a lot of skill, there's more luck, right? But then I realized, okay, my personal account, $1,000, $2,000, it's not a lot of money. And so then I found the prop firm game. And so for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been consistently getting funded so that I have leverage and I can trade with 100,000, 200, up to $400,000 of capital. So that when I make a 1% gain or a 2% gain or a 3% gain, that replaces my income or triples my income, my job income. So to me, that's where the power is. That's where I'm at in my journey. Obviously, my ultimate goal is to have a seven-figure capital and to just be comfortable. And I say comfortable where I'm not risking too much, but if I'm making 1% a month, that's upwards of $50,000 a month in just profit, right? Obviously, I can make 2 to 3% a month and make triple that, $150,000 a month. Can it be done? It can be done. Is it super easy? It's not super easy, but I do have a plan to execute that. And so I would strongly encourage you to save you time as a trader. As first, learn a strategy. Second, have a mentor. Okay, and invest in your education. And don't expect results, positive results overnight. Now, you will get results. Okay, you'll see that you can lose and you'll see that you can win. But if you're trying to change your life, it's not going to be overnight. If you're trying to break six figures, it's not going to be overnight.